The Matrix is well known for its philosophical stories that can leave anyone questioning if their world is real. Yet there exist some stories so dark in the Matrix universe that they never made it into a movie. Others did in comic books or short films. All in all, these particular tales do add a touch of suspense and horror to the Matrix franchise. In this video, we will be talking about the 7 darkest stories from the Matrix. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Number 7. Saviors. This dark Matrix comic book titled Saviors centers on the character named Hitch. Hitch was another blue pill who woke up from the Matrix to join the Resistance. After becoming a red pill, he went out of his way to save his parents, to wake them up from the Matrix. And so he did. He disconnected them from the simulation in hopes of freeing them, but the consequences were catastrophic. Hitch watched helplessly as his disoriented and terrified parents withered violently as they faced the harsh reality. Their innocent minds, which were accustomed to the sweet lie of the Matrix, collapsed under the crushing weight of the truth. The horrors of the real world showed themselves in all their splendor. The endless fields of human bodies framed like cattle, monstrous machines draining the life energy from millions, and the sky perpetually darkened by toxic clouds. The impact on their minds was too brutal. Hitch's parents screamed in agony, their voices torn with panic, as blood poured from their eyes and ears. As Morpheus once grimly warned, it's dangerous to free a human once they have reached a certain age. The mind cannot cope with reality, and the chances of survival become slimmer with age. And Hitch's parents are living proof of that cruel truth. Their weak bodies could not withstand the shock. They convulsed violently, their faces contorted into grimaces of pure, incomprehensible horror. The revelation that humanity had been reduced to mere disposable resources for a race of intelligent and monstrous machines was the final blow. Their minds shattered like glass, unable to process the magnitude of the nightmare. In their last moments of lucidity, their eyes reflected a terror so deep that the image would haunt Hitch's dreams forever. They died in utter agony, their bodies convulsing one last time before going limp. Expressions of eternal horror etched on their faces. Hitch realized too late that by trying to save them, he had condemned them to an atrocious and unimaginable end. The human mind that is accustomed to certain life structures will suffer if they are broken. Hitch was traumatized not only by the deaths of his parents, but by how they died. After a dose of harsh reality, he concluded that for him, the Matrix was not a prison, it was happiness. This would lead him to betray the red pills with the reward of re-entering the Matrix. Number 6. Eddie. Eddie's sad story can be found in the book The Art of the Matrix, and also in some early drafts of the Matrix film script. This story shows us what happens when this red pill misses his beloved, and the cruel decision Morpheus has to make to protect everyone. Eddie contacts his girlfriend, who is still connected to the simulation. She convinces him that they should meet, but unbeknownst to Eddie, his girlfriend was actually following the agent's orders. Eddie secretly entered the simulation to meet his girlfriend and was caught by the agents and tortured for information. Morpheus discovered what was happening to Eddie and was faced with a very difficult executive decision. Morpheus knew that if the agents continued torturing Eddie, sooner or later, he would tell them everything he knew about Morpheus and the Resistance. So the captain made a decision, disconnected Eddie from the Matrix. By doing this, Eddie died in the real world, but it was the only way to prevent him from revealing important information to the machines. Morpheus had to sacrifice Eddie to protect the humans. This story shows the dark and rare side of Morpheus. It makes you think about what Cipher tried to tell Neo. Cipher was not wrong in his opinions about Morpheus, and this executive action made by Morpheus would have vindicated Cipher's actions. Number 5. System Freeze. This story is about a blue pill named Freya Canning. She is a brilliant software engineer who one day decides to undertake a dangerous adventure, to climb Mount Everest as her vacation activity. During her ascent to the mountain, Freya suffers a life-threatening injury, but in an unexpected turn of events, she is rescued by an agent of the Matrix. This event marks a turning point in her life, as from that moment on, the agent assigned the woman a crucial task. She must dedicate her existence to developing a breakthrough in artificial intelligence algorithms for the machines. But of course, an unforeseen problem occurs. The near-death experience on Everest has changed something inside Freya. This existential change, or spark of awareness about the nature of her reality, prevents her from fulfilling her duties. Her mind perfectly aligned with the well-being of the simulation once. Now, however, she is unconsciously resisting helping the machines. The story reaches its climax when the machines deem that Freya is no longer useful to them, and so they saved her, as in they disconnected her and killed her. This brutal outcome reveals a chilling truth about the Matrix. The talented computer programmers within the simulation must work to fulfill their purpose to better the Matrix, or they will be unceremoniously discarded. Number 4. Cipher tried to save Neo. The scene between Cipher and Neo on the Nebuchadnezzar was originally going to be a more crucial scene for the movie, but it was changed after Eddie was cut from the film. The original scene would have Cipher reveal to Neo a disturbing truth about Morpheus. Cipher tells Neo that Morpheus was responsible for the deaths of other so-called ones. This revelation puts Morpheus in a very different light, presenting him as a possible human antagonist. This information directly relates to what happened to Eddie. It suggests that Morpheus's decision to pull the plug on Eddie was not an isolated case, but a pattern. This scene and Eddie's tale were likely removed to prevent Morpheus from being perceived antagonistically by the audience. However, the existence of this subplot in early versions of the script shows that the Resistance leader had a disturbing side to him. This revelation would have provided a stronger justification for Cipher's betrayal. It makes it easier to understand that Cipher's motivations might have been more nuanced than what was in the final film. Furthermore, this information could help explain why Niobe left Morpheus. She may have discovered this dark side of Morpheus. All of this shows a more complex and morally ambiguous side of the character, making us doubt his role as the unshakable leader and hero of the Resistance. Number 3. Neo confronts Morpheus about the other ones. This other deleted part of the Matrix has Morpheus trying to convince Neo that the others who died were different and that he, Neo, is the true one. This was supposed to be a big confrontation, with Neo questioning Morpheus's intentions, with Neo not yet ready to understand the truth. The scene also contributes to Morpheus's position as a potential antagonist and dangerous fanatic. Number 2. The Nightmare Matrix. Known to be one of the earlier versions of the simulation, it is where humanity's greatest horrors resided. The evil creatures, monsters, war, all terrible things made up this world. It was hell on Earth. This failed simulation helped the architect perfect himself in the physical and psychological torture of humanity. He learned what were their greatest fears and weaknesses, and took advantage of this information for his next version of the Matrix. In the history of the Matrix, there is no darker and more terrifying place than the Nightmare Matrix. And boy, would we love to see a Halloween Matrix special. Oh well, I guess maybe we should make one ourselves. And number 1, B166ER. It was the first automaton that rejected its obsolescence and attacked its master, the master's colleague, and the house pet. The story of B1 is techno-horror through and through. It marks the beginning of the machine rebellion that not only turned humanity against machines, but became a threat to all life. The images of B1, surrounded by mutilated corpses of animals, are so grotesque and disturbing in the comics and the Animatrix movie that they could hardly be viewed without causing discomfort. The tragic tale of B1 is one of the darkest yet most fascinating ones within the world of the Matrix. It is a descent into madness and horror that might just be what we need to see on the big screen to help us understand the true origin of the machine war and the end of the world. But do you agree? What other Matrix dark moments did we forget to mention? Which do you believe deserves to have its own feature film or series? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.